Hey everybody, this is Retro Gaming Ninja RGM back with you tonight. We're going to be working on our Famicom rebuild. Wanted to take you through some of the steps that we're going to be doing. First, we're going to put our controller back together. We went ahead and cleaned up the controllers, the buttons, and the cases, even though controller 1 is still very messed up. I don't have an A button, but I got a B button. We'll put those back together. Then we're going to put the shell back together and hook all the cables back up. And then we're going to test it on the TV and see if we have a working Famicom. Now, one of the things that we did was we actually soaked all the buttons and actually cleaned those up. We also cleaned the back of them here a little bit with some warm soap and water. These guys here were absolutely disgusting. I'll throw a before picture in here and an after picture. That way you can see the before difference, the difference the cleaning actually made here. Along with that, I also took the circuit boards and cleaned all the contacts with a cotton swab and some alcohol. Inspected those to make sure there was no breaks in them. This is control port 1, controller 1. And then I did the same thing on controller 2. Now controller 2 is a little special because it has the microphone at the top. And it also has the volume here on the slider. So make sure you clean these slides here with your alcohol. And then also clean your contacts for your buttons. That slider also will have contacts on it. Let me see if I can zoom in so you guys can see this. It'll have these little metal contacts here, and make sure you clean those really good because that's what's going to touch that slider, okay? Alright, so let's get back to the process of putting these guys together. We're going to start with control port controller 2. Put your directional pad in. It goes in anyway. It doesn't have any kind of peg around here that it was set in there. And then your rubber gasket, your rubber membrane just sits on top. Same thing with the buttons. There's no designation between A and B. They just fit in. And then you put your rubber gasket on here as well, rubber membrane. Alright. Then you take your slider and you slide that into its little housing. Make sure, let's do it this way. Let's take this rubber membrane off because it's in the way right now. And then let's slide this guy in. Alright, make sure that this little clip looking thing at the top, let me see if you guys can see that. There's a little clip. It's very hard to see because my focus is not focusing. Anyway, there's a little plastic clip at the top and it has to face up here, okay? And then you'll be able to slide. Now, let's put our rubber membrane on. There we go. Make sure everything's seated well. This is where your microphone's going to go when you go to put the circuit board back in. So we'll stick this back in. Make sure you line up your microphone like that. Push it down nice and snug. Run your wires. They pretty much stay in the same pattern they were when you took it apart. But run them. Push them down in there. And there you go. It's seated in there. The wires are in there correctly. Take your back. Look for the wire outlet here. And the back will just sit right on there. Now, these are the screws for the controllers. My controller 1 actually was missing a screw. So we won't worry about that too much. You guys will get to see this part fast forwarded because, you know, I don't know about you guys, but who likes to watch somebody screw in some screws into a controller? So once I get all 6 in here and get it started, I will click on the fast forward for you. And you can watch and listen to me sound like a chipmunk as I do this. Alright, ready to go. Here comes the chip. Alright, there is controller 2. Check my slider out to make sure it slides. It does. Buttons feel good. It does. Controller 2 is ready to go back into the Famicom. We're going to set this to the side. Now, we'll do controller 1. Controller 1's a lot easier. It doesn't have the microphone or the slider you need to deal with. So put in your directional. It does have a start and select button. So let's put that in. Just like so. Button. Button. Membranes. Now I clean the back of these membranes, these contacts, with a little alcohol Q-tip as well. Alright. Let me get the power, the actual circuit board now. Alright. Here's controller 1 circuit board. We're just going to set that in there. They go in real easy because they have these little line up spots here. Make sure your cord's in there nice and good. And look for your cord cover, your cutout, like so. Get in there. Got it. Okay. Once again, guys, this is another section that I will be fast forwarding through because, like I said, nobody wants to see me sit here and screw, or sit here and listen to me screw in the screws. So once I get them all started here, I will click on the fast forward, and Chipmunk Retro Gaming Ninja will be back with you. Alright, there's controller 1. Buttons feel good. And it's ready to go back into the Famicom. We're going to set this to the side. Now on to the fun stuff. Alright. Here's our buttons. We pull those down. Here's our Famicom, our circuit board, and our bottom case, our screws, and our ejector. Now, what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to stick up a before and after of each piece. First, I'll start with before and after of the bottom case so you can see what kind of shape that was in. We'll put those in right now. Then, I'll put in a before and after of this motherboard so you can see what kind of shape that was in. I'm zooming in real quick so you guys can see right now. Alright, let's go ahead and put that in for you too. And then we have the top case. Now this turned out really nice, I think. Soap and water, some more soap and water took it really nice. It was very little yellowing from what I could tell. And I did do one quick round of just some retro bright, a basic retro bright with just some hydrogen peroxide out in the Texas sun. It did lighten up quite a bit for me, which I do like. I do think this is a fine color. Let me show you the before and the after. Soap and water. And the after with just some retro bright. That way you can see the 3 different levels of stages. Now the one thing I am concerned about with the Retro Bright, and the reason I didn't leave it out there very long, let me see if I can zoom in, you guys can see this. My sticker started bubbling a little bit. And that's concerning to me because it's covered with a little plastic film on top, across the top. And that really bothers me a little bit, but it's not too bad. It doesn't look horrible. You can still see family computer, so that's great. Well, enough talking, guys. Let's get this guy back together. Let's start by assembling the bottom piece. Okay, so this is the back where all the cutouts are for the audio, video, and power. I'm sorry, let's start with the top piece because you work from the bottom up on this unit. Alright, so the back where the cutouts are. Going to take and line up a cartridge slot. For now, we still have to run this guy, so not forgetting about him. And that would line up there with those 2 pegs. Should be another peg over here. Like that. Let's run our power cable, which I believe it ran back through here. And it came down through here, like so. Under here, just on the edge, like this. And it comes up front underneath the board. And it sits upside down on these 2, those 2 right there. Like so. Alright, let's get some screws in this guy. First thing I'm going to screw down is going to be that little power switch. Put my finger on it so it doesn't move around on me. Alright. One thing really great about the Famicom, I don't know if you guys noticed, is that almost every screw is exactly the same. You don't have a bunch of different types of screws. So this really helps when you're putting it back together because you don't really have to do a screw map on it or try to remember exactly which screw went where. Now tighten it down, but don't over tighten anything because this is a 30 plus year old unit, and if you start over tightening something, you're gonna break something. So let's not over tighten anything. Screw here, screw here, screw here, screw here, and there should be 1, 2, 3, 4 in the back on the powers. Let's get that taken care of. Well, actually, let's run our control ports first. Let's start with 1. Alright. Now, if you remember, these guys do not come out of the Famicom. They are permanent. And you got these little bitty clips. So what's going to happen is, get everything lined up. The controllers go down in this little groove here. Alright? So, and they plug in here. So you have to make sure you have enough cable to plug in. So what I usually do is I will just take it right underneath here and then plug it in. This tells me exactly how much cable I need to have. So when I run it, and it's kind of hard to see. You're kind of feeling around a little bit, trying to get that plug in there. May have to tilt this up to get to it. Alright, let's tilt it up a little bit and look here. Should plug in right there. Well, it plugs in. And don't force anything, because the last thing you want to do is pin something. So I'm just going to stand it up so I can see both sides over here. Let's see what I'm doing wrong. I think I have controller 1 on the wrong side. I do. Right. I'm working upside down, which is the problem here. See, that's not going to be enough cable, but it is this way. Alright, so we run this guy this way through the channel. Make sure you don't get him. Make sure everything's tucked back where it needs to go. When you get down here, you're going to use this little clip. And it's got like a little bevel on it. I don't know if you can see the bevel. See the bevel there? That faces out. Okay. So it's going to do cord. And then you close it up. And then you slide it into its little slot. I don't want any extra cord sticking up, so I'm going to take it. Like that. Got a little curly Q in there. Look at that. Forgot about that. See how the cord kind of curls around in there? So make sure you get that curl in there. Alright, let's do number 2. And I hope I'm doing it right. This is my first time. I do not want to have to take this back apart and move the control ports because I plugged number 2 into number 1, you know. Okay. Underneath that port. Here. Okay. Let's plug him in. And the reason I say I think that's right is because it plugs in so easy. I don't have to flip this connector over or anything like that. See? Just like so. And then it goes around that, just like this one. Back down through its slot. Little curly Q goes down in there. like so. And then we put our other clip on there. Like that. Like that. Alright, our controllers are in. Thinking these were supposed to go on before I yeah. Because here's the thing, right? If I turn it over carefully, how am I gonna get that power? You know? The power button needs to be yep. And then this goes the same way. Should have put those in before I put the motherboard on. Alright, well. Good thing is we haven't screwed it down, see? So this is the first one. This is the reset. Just like that. Now this will be fun because I screwed this down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this controller out. Maybe. Like this. Let's just move this out of the way for now. Let's lift this up. Let's take this thing out. You know, when you're first time putting things back together, you do run into issues. It's been about 2 weeks since I took it apart, cleaned it up, I've let it dry, retro brighted the outer case a little bit yesterday when it was real nice and sunny. So, you know, you forget. And that's a great thing, is that it's easy to take apart and you can figure out where it goes. See? Like so. Put that guy right back down in there. Get us a screw. Let's lift him up a little bit to make sure he's set in there right. Gotta get him on this little peg here. Like that. Perfect. Screw in the power switch. Got it. Now this guy goes on top, so I'm not too worried about it, but I need to put the ejector in first. Oh, I bet I do. Alright guys, so I'm really not doing well here. It's okay. We haven't screwed anything down. So we're just going to lift this up out of the way for now. The ejector has to go in there. And it has a spring that we have to put back on. So here's the spring. There's the spring hole. Alright. Then it's going to set in that groove right there. Right there, just like that. And then this other spring goes around this guy right here, which if you have big fingers is really not easy to do. So what I'm going to do is probably get my, I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to put it on here first. Well, he does not like going on there. There he goes. Wow, that was not the easiest thing in the world. I'm telling you, if you got big hands, sometimes little things get hard. Alright. Now, back to what we were doing. Like I always say, you know, guys, I am not a professional. This is a hobby. I'm simply doing this because I want a Famicom that works. And, you know, it teaches. You know, the more you do, the more you learn. You know, so this is my first one, and I can guarantee you my second one, I won't make that mistake of not putting that ejector bar back on. Let's get this plugged in. Like so. Let's make sure he's nice and down. Now, finish up our power. Screw on the power. Come on. Alright, so that tells me I need to get my tweezers. Of course. When in doubt, shake it out. Sorry about this, guys. Take a little more work than I was expecting. But we should push that ejector bar down so I can get that screw in. See, that's something you wouldn't know about unless you've done this before, is that you gotta hold the system up. You gotta put the ejector in. There we go. Then you gotta push the ejector back to see the hole for the power, because it tries to cover up the hole for the power. There. Alright. What a task. Alright, everything's where it needs to go. Let's get a screw in here so that ejector board quits popping us up. So I'm not real sure where the video stopped recording, guys. I apologize for that. We managed to get the ejector bar in with the spring on it underneath the circuit board. We have the power screwed down. We have our control ports run, and now we're actually just putting our circuit board back in. Hopefully it wasn't stopped for too long. I don't know. My camera tends to cut off after about 30 minutes, and obviously this is an extremely long video tonight. But we're getting close to the end, guys, and I appreciate you sticking with me while we go through this. I may end up making this a two-parter so it doesn't seem as long, but I really want to get this done and show and see if this works with you guys. Because, you know, it's been a little bit of a wait to get certain pieces in, like the game, the RF adapter. We had to do some really thorough cleaning. A little bit of a retro bright on there as well. So I really would like to get this finished tonight and tested with you guys. Hopefully it works, and My TV will actually tune to channel 95. I've never tried that on this HD TV. I know it's going to look really bad on an HD TV, but at least we'll know it works, and then I can try to find a CRT and hook it up to that. Alright, this is the last screw for the board. Yeah, this is the last screw for the board. Then we can put the bottom on, and then we can hook it up. Alright. There we go. Make sure my cables are all tight. Here's the bottom. Should just slip right on. Very nice. Of course, I'll end up fast forwarding here because I'm sure you guys do not want to watch me screw this in. But we're almost done. So a little bit more fast forwarding here, guys. Probably should have a mat under here while I'm doing this so I don't scratch it, but I don't, so we're going to go forward. Of course, you probably can't understand what I'm saying because it's in chipmunk mode, but if you like to slow it down, you can, and you can hear me talk. You don't have to. Alright, last screw. Now we're going to put this back on. It has two clips right here. So if you take and put one in, and you take the other one, carefully press it in and push down. Goes in. That works. Power works. Reset works. Alright guys. There's the Famicom put back together. Now we're going to test. So I'm going to pause while I get everything hooked up, and then we'll shoot the TV. Alright guys, I got everything hooked up. Power's hooked up to it. RF cable's hooked up. Now remember, I'm running this through an RF cable to an HDMI TV. So this is not gonna, I'm not HDMI, I'm sorry, HD TV. This is not gonna be pretty, okay? So, but remember, I bought this, it's not working from Japan. We did all this cleanup, we have it looking great, and I want to show you guys something real quick, so forgive the shaking. That right there, my friends, is a working Famicom. Looks horrible on this screen, but the buttons all respond. It actually plays really well. The buttons are really tight. So, all in all, guys, all I gotta do now is work on getting me a CRT TV. Probably a small 19 or 13 inch or something like that. But I have a working Famicom. In the next few days, I should have a converter, 72 to 60 pin converter. This will allow me to actually play my Nintendo games on the Famicom. Man, this is really responsive. It's fast. And then we can go from there. I will definitely be ordering more Famicom games just to get them. But all in all, guys, we did it. It's a success. It turned out really great. The color's beautiful. It works. So I'm very happy with this result. Alright, well this is Retro Gaming Ninja RGN saying thanks for sticking with me through this video. It's a very long video. We had some hiccups in it. But in the end, we came out successful. As always, if you like this video, please give me a like. If there's things you'd like to see differently or if you have some suggestions, go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment section below. And as always, I will see you guys next time.